Repeat signs. Why use repeat signs? Well, one of the major shape or forms in music is repetition. When you hear a song on the radio, you can be fairly sure to hear a part of the song played at least 2 times, even more. Instead of having to write the same music over and over again, we use repeat signs. That way, we save ourselves time and paper. Now, to explain this, we have this little melody here on the screen. Let's take a listen to it and see if you notice any similar parts in the melody. If you look and listen closely, you will hear 2 parts of this little melody that are exactly the same. So these 3 bars that I have highlighted here are exactly the same. So there's no reason to write the whole thing up 2 times. That's why we have repeat signs. Here we have the same melody with a repeat sign. And here we see the repeat sign. We have 2 dots before a double line. And the dots are placed below and above the 3rd line. Now what this means is that when you come to the repeat sign tells you to go back to the beginning. Then you play from the beginning towards the 3rd bar again. So all in all, you will play this melody 2 times. Let's take a listen to what the melody sounds like. Now, let's go back to our previous example. This is the first example I showed you. And you can see that these 3 bars here are the same as these 3 bars here. So let's take a listen and see if it doesn't sound exactly the same as the one example with the repeats. You get the idea? Great. Sometimes you repeat to another repeat sign. That repeat sign will turn the opposite way to the last one. The repeat signs will form a mirror image of each other. Now let's take an example. Here we have our melody. I have added some notes in here, but my main idea is that I want the group of 3 bars repeated, just as before. That is to say, these groups of 3 bars, these 2 groups, I want to repeat them, but I do not want to repeat these 2 notes in the first bar. So what I do is this. First, I take out one group of the 3 bars that I want to repeat. Next, what I do is I put in the repeat sign. Here we have the repeat sign. But what this would mean is that I would have to repeat myself all over to the beginning. But I do not want to go all the way to the beginning. I want to go simply to this bar line. So what I do to get over there is simply I put in a repeat sign which tells me to repeat between the two repeat signs. And here we have the repeat sign. As you can see, it turns opposite to the second repeat sign. The dots are on the right side of the double line, but the dots here are on the left side of the double bar line. Now when we listen to this example, the bars that have been highlighted yellow will be played twice. And this is because of the repeat signs here and here. This first bar will only be played once in the beginning. And this is because of the repeat signs here and here. This is generally referred to as a start repeat, and this is called an end repeat. Now let's listen to this again, and I will guide you to what's going on. Let's listen to it again. The first bar, we come up to the first repeat sign, and then we go back to this sign and play these 3 bars again. And that's it. All there is to it. Sometimes the last few bars of a passage to be repeated may be altered when playing a second time. To make this clear, we use first time sign, that's in Italian prima volta, and second time sign, that's in Italian seconda volta. These marks can be placed over the relevant bars. Now what does this mean? Well, let's take a better look. Sometimes the last few bars of a passage to be repeated may be altered when playing a second time. To make this clear, we use first and second endings. Now I will come to that in just a minute. But we're back to our old example. Now we have this group of 3 bars here, but you notice I've changed one note. The note highlighted here in yellow has been changed. So we cannot use the repeat signs the same way we did in the previous example. But as you can see, this bar and this bar, these 2 bars that I have highlighted with a blue circle, are exactly the same as these 2 bars over here. The only difference are these 2 notes. So let me show you how we go about to do this with repeat signs. First of all, let's take a listen to the example so we know how it should sound. these are the symbols that we use. Now first, let's listen to this example, because what we just heard is fresh in our memory. And let's listen to if it's not exactly the same. It should be. So let's go over this for a moment. This is the first ending. Here we have this bracket here with lines going down and one across, and the number 1 with a dot after it, meaning that this is the first ending. The first ending is only played the first time. So we go from here, we play over here, and we go into the first ending. So the first time we play from here to this repeat sign, and this means that we just play this the first time we play through. So we repeat from this repeat sign to over here, to the beginning. The second time we play through the melody, we play from here up to the first ending, and we jump over the first ending and straight into the second ending. And from there on, if we had more music after the second ending, we would continue playing the music. So the second time we play through, we go from here up to the first ending, we skip the first ending and jump over to the second ending. Now that's all there is to this. Now let's finally listen to our example, and I will follow you through the music and comment as we play along. Let's take a listen. Here we start in the first bar and the first ending, going back to the top, and we skip the first ending and straight into the second. Listen to this once more. Into the first ending, and we jump into the second ending. You might also want to know that these endings are called, in Italian, the first time ending is called prima volta, and the second ending is called in Italian seconda volta. You might encounter these names when you're playing music. Now that's all for repeat signs at the moment.